everyone, this is Tina with Overall Adventures. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're talking about how to use your journal for depression. Let's get right on in. First and foremost, I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. However, I have firsthand experience with depression and I have firsthand experience with using my journal specifically to help me work through depression, to help me heal, to help me navigate what is going on with my blues. Knowledge is power. The more that you know about your depression, the more active role you can play in understanding it. First, I just want to list the benefits of journaling for depression. You can track your triggers, identify irregular thoughts, patterns, behavior, and lastly, it is an opportunity for positive self-talk. An opportunity to change the way that you think in those patterns. You can identify the patterns and then you can have the chance to change and work through those patterns. Journaling captures the chatter in your head, the babble, the way in which we think. So the more honestly you write down that babble, the more that you can explore really what you're saying to yourself, and about your own sadness, and that will help you understand it and start to be able to control it a little bit better. I made this specific depression journal when I was really in the thick of my blues about 3 years ago. It's adapted from the Depression Workbook by Mary Copeland. I could only find it at the library and I found it to be really expensive online when I looked 3 years ago. I'll include it down below. But basically what I did is I took out the library book and then I noted my favorite prompts and I kind of used them as journaling prompts and filled out the workbook in my own little journal. So that's something you could do. But from this book, I'm just going to share with you my favorite lists and prompts that I found to be most helpful and I definitely think you should try. List the reasons why you choose to live. This is really important. I put this actually at the front of my book because this is something I always wanted to remember and be able to see when I was really feeling down. Memories that make me smile. Lists of your biggest achievements that you've done thus far. And that can be awards and things like that, but it could also be the small things like adopting my beautiful dog. Or training her, teaching her how to sit. Creating a wellness toolbox. So that basically means, to me, that means different things to different people, but to me that means steps, clear steps. What do I notice in my body physically when I get a trigger or when triggers occur? How do I notice when I'm spiraling? And what do I need to do to get myself out of this spiral? And then how can I reward myself when I am out of it? So it's literally making a plan for when the blues hit and how you're going to get yourself out of it. What I'm like when I'm feeling well. So when you're feeling well, you can write a letter to yourself, maybe for when you're blue, or you can describe how good you feel so that you can always come back to it. The key with journaling for depression in general is to write when you are well so that you can have something tangible to look back on. The one thing you want to be careful about with journaling for depression is when you are actually in the thick of the blues, you want to make sure that when you're writing that you are working towards something rather than just kind of wallowing in it. It's just about finding balance in describing your current feelings, describing your situation, but not just allowing your journal to just kind of become this place where you can just sit in the mediocrity pool. So you want to have grounding entries and you can flag them. Like I use like little post-its to flag my favorite pages that were really important to me that I wanted to come back to. What are your early warning signs that you are on a downward spiral? Make it clear for yourself. Identify a list of your triggers and then identify a list of things that you can do tangibly when those triggers occur. The more you know about your depression, the more that you are able to take control of it and say, this is something that I can own right now. And I know that the trigger is going to happen and I know exactly what I need to do, whether that's walk outside, whether that's take 3 deep breaths, whether that's doing a sun salutation, whether that's walking the dog, whether that is picking up this certain book or this certain quote or this certain chapter. And just remember that it does get better. And even though you might be in the thick of the blues right now, I encourage you to do one of these prompts. If you're really feeling like, how do I even get to writing? Try to just collage. Try to grab an old magazine and just rip things out. Make a little vision board of yourself. You can make a vision board of how you're feeling. So collect all of those gray and blue and muted colors and then create a vision board of how you want to feel. If you're feeling like words aren't coming, just make sure you have some kind of support just beyond a journal. I highly encourage therapy. I loved my experience in therapy, and I loved pairing my journal with therapy and medication at times. So I just encourage you to use your writing to take control of your depression and to get to know it better. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If this is of interest to you and you want me to talk more about this, also let me know down below. Thank you so much for supporting me here on this channel, and I'm sending lots of love and peace and light your way. Thanks for joining me.